Hello everyone, welcome to my video tour of my professional ePortfolio. The first thing that you'll see whenever you come onto my ePortfolio is my welcome page. The second thing we'll go to is my candidate information page. This is a page to get a little introduction of who I am, where I came from, and really the journey I've taken to get to this point. Whenever you get to this page, the first thing that you're going to see is a video introduction of all those things that I just mentioned. So after you're done watching that, you'll be able to look at some of my professional and personal goals. For example, my number one personal goal is to always be the best father and the best husband that I can be. And I feel like going through this program, it has helped me get to that point because I've learned a lot of lessons about time management and just how to have a better work/life balance. And then just an example of one of my professional goals is to hopefully in the coming years seek a non-degree seeking educational leadership from Fort Hays, and just with the intentions of becoming a principal, an assistant principal, or an athletic director, some sort of leadership capacity outside of the classroom. And once you scroll down, you'll see just a little bit more about me, and then also the exploration stage of my transference reflection is included in here, and we have those same professional and personal goals, and then we have just an idea of where I want to be in 2 years, 5 years, and 10 years. 10 years, I hope to be in a leadership role of some type. Um, One of the subtopics of my candidate information is my technology philosophy. I believe this short philosophy gives you guys an idea of where I use technology, how I use technology, why I think technology is beneficial. And it really comes down to, personally, I just think it gives students the power to take ownership of their learning, and you're able to extend DOK levels. And I believe that using technology allows you to connect content to students' life, which increases engagement. After our technology philosophy, we'll go into my updated resume. I really appreciate having to update my resume. It's been a couple years since I had done that. I actually used my updated resume in a job interview this year. That job interview was one of my personal goals of moving into the physical education sector, and I was fortunate enough to get that job. So having this updated resume was a huge sigh of relief and huge help that I was just able to not even have to worry about. Next thing we'll do is go into my activity evidence. This is where I'm able to showcase a lot of my professional development plan in action. And this is just a way that you can click to whichever one of these subheadings that you want to. Um, my professional development plan, it took a while to really get settled on what I wanted to do. And I came down to the conclusion of we have a ton of different technology tools, but um, we haven't really been encouraged to use a lot of them. We've just been encouraged to do what the school asks us the bare minimum. So I really focused on implementing new technology into specifically the math classroom, just because I wanted this to also be beneficial for me right now in my setting. So the purpose of this was to effectively implement technology into classroom that supports student growth. And I think that when looking through this, you'll see that my goal is to take the programs that we already have that the school purchased for us, like Canvas, Skyward, Pearson, and implement those new technologies and integrate those new technologies into the programs that we already have, such as Pear Deck, Powtoon, Screencastify, and my presentations, my face-to-face trainings, my article summaries. Each one of those was directly linked into this PDP, and I believe that this uh, PDP meets the objective of helping math teachers implement new technologies into their classroom that is beneficial, and it's not just there to use it. So my first training was focused on using Pear Deck with Google Slides, and then this was with other math teachers at at my school. And then I had utilizing Powtoon in our math class, how we could do that. In my PDP, I also had a training with Powtoon with the staff. And then, unfortunately, my last training came after schools were already shut down, and it was adding Screencastify videos into Canvas. So this would have been like the final training of the program or of the plan. It would have Screencastify, taking Screencastify videos and putting them out to the students. In each one of my presentations, under professional presentations, each one of those was the guiding force of those face-to-face trainings. So how to create Powtoons, utilizing Pear Deck, and inserting Screencastify into Canvas. Like I mentioned earlier, the summaries that I did, they were also directly linked into my PDP, and I think that um, having to research these topics at this time was really important, and it helped me a lot just because I learned about different assistive technology that I can use in my math class. I really focused on trying to revamp professional development because I believe that a lot of teachers, all they do is they feel like they have so many different tools, but they don't have adequate time, and they don't have adequate time to research, to implement. So I really wanted to look at how I could revamp professional development, and then I wanted to base my PDP off of that. And lastly was researching more about the flipped classroom. And literally like a couple days after I did this article, we shut down schools, and this is how pretty much my class is now, is flipped, and a lot of it's based off the principles of this flipped classroom idea. My extra resources are just resources that I feel best represent what I've learned in this program. They're projects, assignments, trainings that I'm proud of, that I'm proud to showcase. Like, for example, the sixth grade math syllabus. This directly helps me right now just because this syllabus was made for an online course. How I can make my sixth grade math class an online course. Well, now it is an online course, so I'm able to take this and give it to my students, also like tweaking it, but give it to my students just so they have a little bit of direction. Um, and then another thing that I was super proud of was my literature review that we did in educational research. Um, this was a very interesting study. It was looking at the relationship between gender and mathematical success. And I believe that study has made me a better math teacher just because I know a little bit of what the data says behind teaching females versus teaching males in the math classroom. And then when we go to the evaluation, I was able to get an evaluation from Mr. Kyle Miller, who was a classmate throughout this MIT program. He was extremely helpful throughout this practicum experience. He was there to answer questions. He was there to guide me. He gave me a lot of great feedback, how to organize my portfolio, how to effectively plan my PDP. So, and same thing with Kelly LeClaire, who's a former coworker but a mentor of mine. They both gave me really good feedback of how, and it was a lot of just the organizational piece, but I believe that hearing from other professionals who are in the same situation that you are, what you did right, what you could have done better, I think overall in the end it's going to make us better professionals. And lastly is my reflection piece. Here's my transference reflection, which is it's really just looking at where I started at October 2018 and through the different classes, through the different courses, and where I'm at now, how I've gotten to this point, and really how the MIT program has affected me. And then, of course, this video tour will be slotted right here. I appreciate you guys watching this. I hope this ePortfolio gives a sense of who I am, how I use technology, and why I think technology is so beneficial in the classroom. Thank you guys again.